everyone, welcome back to the HWS America Reads YouTube channel. My name is Olivia. I'm a third year at William Smith College. I am an economics major and a political science minor, and I usually tutor on Tuesdays and Thursdays at North Street School. A fun fact about me is I have a pet snake. His name is Steve, and he's a corn snake, and he's red, black, white, and a little bit of yellow. So today's video, we're going to do an activity where we work with words. So what I did was I walked around my house and I grabbed a bunch of random objects that I could find. So what I came up with were this pair of headphones, my running shoe, only one, this apple, a pair of scissors, this tissue box, and this ruler. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at each of my objects and I'm going to come up with some adjectives or descriptive words to try to describe the objects. So I'm going to go one by one and we'll see what we come up with. Once we have our words, we're going to write them down to practice our spelling. And then at the end, we'll have a full list of adjectives for each of our objects. So let's get started. So first, I have my apple. So when I first saw this apple, what came to mind is that it's red and yellow. So I'm going to write red, R-E-D, and yellow, Y-E-L-L-O-W. Another feature of this apple is that it's sweet. I think. I haven't bitten into it, but I'm assuming it's sweet because I've had an apple before. So sweet, I'm going to write down S-W-E-E-T. Now, apples are usually pretty crispy, and this one looks like it would be crispy if I bit into it. So I'm going to write crispy in my list. C-R-I-S-P-Y. And then for my last adjective, I'm going to write round, because my apple is not perfectly round, but it's pretty round. So R-O-U-N-D. So for my apple, to describe it, we have red, yellow, sweet, crispy, round. So for my next object, I'm going to be using my running shoe, which is what I use to work out and go for jogs. So when I look at my shoe, the first word that comes to mind is black, because that's the color. So I'm going to write black, B-L-A-C-K. Next, I think about my shoe. It's not super firm, so I'm going to say squishy because I can squish it up, move it around. It's pretty squishy. So, squishy is a bit of a tricky one. S-Q-U-I-S-H-Y. Now, my shoe is also pretty soft, which is going to be my next word to describe it. Soft, S-O-F-T. And last, my shoe is pretty flexible. I think it needs to be so that people can work out in them. So I'm going to write flexible as my last descriptive word. F-L-E-X-I-B-L-E. So that's it for my shoe. I have black, squishy, soft, and flexible. Okay, so my next object is my headphones. These are what they look like. I usually use them when I am doing homework to listen to music, or just if I'm hanging out and want to plug them into my computer and watch TV. So the first word that comes to mind when I look at my headphones is plastic, because that's the material that they're made out of. So I'm going to write plastic, P-L-A-S-T-I-C. Now, the next part is a little bit different because there's two kind of components of my headphones. This part is a little bit squishy and this part is a little hard. So I'm going to write hard as one of the descriptive words. Hard is spelled H-A-R-D. Now, another word that comes to mind is bright, because they're a pretty bright red color. So I'm going to write bright, B-R-I-G-H-T. And finally, the last word I'm going to write is silver, because although they are red, there are some little silver parts right on the side and at the top. So I'm going to spell silver, S-I-L-V-E-R. So my words for my headphones are plastic, hard, bright, silver. Okay, so my next object is this pair of scissors here. So they're pretty sharp, so if you're using scissors, please be careful. So first, I'm going to write metal because part of the scissors, the part that you use to cut, is made of metal. So to spell metal, M-E-T-A-L. Now also, as I'm sure we all know, scissors are very sharp. So to write sharp, I'm going to spell it S-H-A-R-P. Again, they are blue, so I'm going to write blue, B-L-U-E, and I'm going to write pointy, because at the tip they're pretty pointy. I don't want to like poke my eye out or anything with that. I have to be careful. So, P-O-I-N-T-Y. So the 4 words I have to describe my scissors are metal, sharp, blue, and pointy. Okay, so my next object is my ruler. The first word I'm going to use to explain my ruler is that it's pretty stiff. You can't bend it all that much. So to spell stiff, I'm going to write S-T-I-F-F. Now, the next part is it's also pretty long. So to spell long, L-O-N-G. Next, my ruler is pretty firm. If you dropped it, it wouldn't break and you can't really stretch it around that much. So to write firm, I'm going to write F-I-R-M. Finally, my ruler is perfectly straight, so I'm going to write straight. S-T-R-A-I-G-H-T. So the words that I have to describe my ruler are stiff, long, firm, and straight. So my last object is this tissue box, and this tissue box is a little bit tricky because there's 2 different parts to it. So I'm going to use the word first rectangular because, as you can see, the box is a rectangle shape. Rectangular is a difficult word to spell, so we'll go slowly. R-E-C-T-A-N-G-U-L-A-R. Rectangular. Next, the box, as you can see, there's some trees on it, but it's mostly purple. So I'm going to write purple. P-U-R-P-L-E. Now, let's talk about the tissues for a second, because the tissues are separate from the box. So the tissues are pretty soft and gentle. So I'm going to write gentle as my next word. G-E-N-T-L-E. And finally, the tissues are also white. So I'm going to write white as my next word. W-H-I-T-E. Okay, so that is our box. We have rectangular, purple, and then gentle and white. Thanks guys for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned a little bit about describing objects and adjectives. I hope everyone is staying inside and staying safe, and I'll see you in the next video.